Welcome to From the Trenches, success shortcuts revealed by real-world innovators crushing it right now. I'm your host, Scott Hartley, and we're back with another episode packed with actionable strategies from today's most successful entrepreneurs. If you're tired of generic business advice and ready for real cutting-edge tactics that are working right now, you're in the right place. Today, we're diving deep into how my guest went from zero to $2 million a year in less than 2 years. And I can't wait for my guest to share his transformational insights with you. So let me introduce you to Maxwell Nee. He's the Chief Revenue Officer of ScoreApp, a quiz marketing platform with 6,800 paying clients. He's also a multi-award winning entrepreneur, bodybuilder, and dancer. He's been featured in TV, radio, Forbes magazine, Singapore's The Business Times, and the Australian Business Review. Maxwell, so excited to have you on the podcast today.
Hey, Scott, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, so I love the idea of using quizzes for lead generation. It seems like here recently, within the past several years, that has just really taken the industry by storm because people love interactive ways of figuring out solutions to their problems, and quizzes are a great way to do that. So really interested in what you have to share with us. And I'm assuming, I don't know this because we haven't really chatted much about it, but I'm assuming that was one of the ways that you were able to grow your business so quickly.
Yeah, so we went from zero to about 2 million bucks in less than 2 years in my last business, and a lot of people ask, how did you do that? And the really brutal answer is just with a lot of leads and a lot of sales. So we were always looking for an edge on how we could increase conversion rates, generate more interest, how we could spark organic growth in people being interested in us and how we could add more value that didn't necessarily cost more time and more money
Hmm.
out to the marketplace. And then we found quiz funnels. So uh, I'll give you an example. A typical quiz funnel might be an exercise where, like an online assessment, where someone says, find out which exact body type you are,
Hmm.
small, medium, or large frame. And then based on your frame, I will recommend for you the perfect nutrition slash workout plan for you to accelerate your your summer goal, your summer body goal type of thing.
Hmm.
And a lot of people, that's really compelling for a few reasons. It's really compelling because it provides instant feedback. It's a bit like speaking directly to an AI chatbot. You don't want to wait for a response. You want a response immediately.
Yeah.
And you also want your responses to be personalized, right? Like so you want people to be able to take something away that they couldn't get anywhere else.
Yep.
And that really, really drives up conversion rates. As an example, um, a, a typical lead magnet, which is when someone goes from like an audience person to a potential lead, is converts at about 10-15%.
Hmm.
But we see conversion rates between 20 to 40%. The average is actually 30. So you're looking
Awesome.
at, at least double, sometimes even triple.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fantastic. And I like, the fact that you mentioned that, quizzes kind of allow you to deliver a personalized result. Whereas, a lot of other types of lead magnets and everything, they're just very static, a checklist, a report, a video series, those types of things. Whereas those quizzes, you can, if you know how to build those correctly, you can really customize those results for your leads, your prospects.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that gives you a whole bunch of data as well.
Yeah.
Like, and even if you're using a little bit of data or a lot of data to know more about your clients, even a little bit's a win,
Hmm.
because for example, if I was to jump on to Amazon.com right now and you were to jump onto Amazon.com, we would both see completely different websites, right?
Yep.
Because Amazon's taken the time to personalize, 10 years of my purchase history, 10
Hmm.
years of your purchase history, so that it's, specific and tailored to me. So if you can do that for your customers, even just identifying, um, you know, when they like to be, how often they like to be emailed, as an
Hmm.
example, compared to like daily or weekly or putting everyone in the same bucket. Some people like monthly, some people like daily.
Hmm.
Things like that really help to move the needle.
Yeah, the data is so critically important, especially as we kind of get into, more and more of AI becoming involved, with a lot of things in our businesses. We now have tools that can help us really aggregate and, parse all of that data that we're collecting. But like you mentioned, it allows us to have more targeted communications, which is going to give us much better results in all of our marketing activities.
Yeah, exactly right.
So, when it comes to like quiz funnels, let's kind of like backtrack a little bit. How did you, obviously there's a lot of different ways that you could generate leads, but how did you really land on quiz funnels and why did you decide to go all in on that?
Yeah, good question. So, in my last business, we discovered it just by reading books and looking at what other people were doing in the market, and then we tested it. It took like 6 weeks to build, but we Frankensteined our own quiz funnel using like Google Forms and Google Sheets
Hmm.
and Zapier and a whole lot of automation, and that took like 6 weeks and thousands of dollars to build. But we found it worked really, really well. So it was worth it. Worked for me. We built a few for my friends. It worked really well for them. And then my business partner, Dan, sends me an email saying, hey, look, we're building this app called ScoreApp. It puts quiz funnels into a software where there's a free version. There's a paid version that starts at like $39. And you could go, very advanced up to like 139. And I was like, wow, that's huge value and huge scale. So I invested immediately, and then was like a strategic partner for a few years,
Hmm.
and then came into the team officially this year to help build it out.
Fantastic. And so, what kind of like, what exactly were the steps that you took that allowed you to go from zero, launching this quiz funnel
Mm.
app to the 2 million in revenue, per year? What's kind of the logic behind, building quizzes that are so successful to getting those types of clients?
Yeah, well, let's think about why they work, right? So, they work because they pull on two threads. One thread is like the logical thread, which is, you know, uh, can this quiz help me to get closer to my goal,
Hmm.
right? And what it really does is that it's a needs analysis. So if you think about, when you go to the doctor, if you're a little bit sick, you say, hey, I'm sick, and the doctor says, what's wrong? The doctor will put you through a needs analysis. And the doctor will say, okay, so do you have a headache? Is your throat sore? Do your eyes hurt? Have you been sleeping? Right. And then based on those answers, it'll recommend to you a very, very specific solution that targets your problems and not the symptoms.
Yep.
Right. So the doctor extracts information from you. So everyone wants answers. Everyone wants answers. They want to know, what they could get out of it, what's in it for them. And then you also have the emotional side, which is, okay, well, that Scott score that he got, what's mine?
Hmm.
So there's a little bit of like self-identification and also I wouldn't say competitiveness, but yeah, there's a bit of like
It's
a
like that
comparison
comparison, right?
syndrome.
The comparative
Yeah.
analysis. Like, how do I stack up against everybody else?
Yeah, exactly. You see, let's say, 10% of the population is the ideal, like the actual ideal frame for bodybuilding. Find out if that's you, type of thing. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. And so, so when you're looking at, both of those threads, which obviously are important when you're building, a quiz, to get people to go through and completing that, how did you leverage then the quiz to start attracting a large number of clients and growing the business?
Yeah, good question. So, the obvious answer is advertising. You want to get to the point where you're so confident in your quiz that if you were to just put a whole bunch of money behind it in advertising dollars, you would generate a whole bunch of leads.
Hmm.
But, right now, so we have about 100 to 150 people find out about ScoreApp a day right now. So that's more than, 3,000 leads that register on the website a month.
Hmm.
And we use almost no paid advertising.
Oh,
So
wow.
we're really active. Yeah, we're really active on like things like SEO. We're really active on just posting out really good content, long form, short form videos.
Hmm.
We're really active on YouTube, in all the organic ways. And we're also really active on podcasts. I think podcasts are extremely underrated in
Yeah.
terms of the value they could bring. The average person that listens to a podcast will listen to at least an hour a day, which is 7 hours a week, right? So 7 hours
Yeah.
a week, you got someone's attention. That's probably more than a lot of people spend with their partners, right? In terms of real
Yeah.
quality time, I'm giving
Yep.
you my attention. And not just that, the attention span is different, right? The attention span on a podcast is you're in learning mode.
Yeah.
You're here to learn, you're here to better yourself, you're in self-development mode. You're not in I'm gonna numb my brain and sit in front of Netflix mode. So the attention span is actually a lot more valuable.
Yeah. No, that's an interesting strategy that you're leveraging, kind of some of those what I would consider non-traditional marketing media right
Yeah.
now. But yeah, I love the power of podcasts. I've been on a number myself. I know that you're getting booked on a lot. It's something that, I would definitely encourage our listeners to leverage as well, because for small business owners, it's a great tool. To really present your expertise and be basically kind of interviewed, by other people and to almost organically, grow your business. Now, when it comes to like building quizzes and everything, so I know that, a lot of people, whenever they're thinking about, oh, I've got this new marketing strategy, whether it's social media marketing or, SEO, all that stuff, it's like, oh man, it's so technical. I've got to, figure out how do I actually do it? What are some of the core concepts that you would say, breaking it down really simple for people? Here's what you need to think about when you're building your first quiz. How simple can
Yeah.
we make that for people?
Yeah. Okay. Good question. So it used to take someone about a day and a half to set up their quiz for the first time. It's a bit like the process of setting up a new website or like a new Facebook page, from scratch and filling that all in.
Hmm.
So uh, you could basically just fill it in and follow the prompts. However, recently, more than a year now, we've added an AI wizard. So
Okay.
the AI wizard will prompt you for, say, 8 questions. So it'll take you through a needs analysis. Who's your niche? How do you help them? What's your special sauce? How do you want to describe that special sauce? And it will use AI to punch out basically a marketing campaign and a quiz for you.
Okay.
So it'll write about 6 to 7 hours of copywriting for you in about 5 minutes, and do draft one, two, and three. Then of course you go in there and polish up the edges.
Hmm.
So if I was to give any advice on what works well, what doesn't, just use AI Wizard because
Yeah.
that's what it's there for. Yeah.
Yeah. No, and that's the power, of leveraging AI. I mean, it's come a long way in such a short period of time, that you can use it to really fast track getting some marketing campaigns, out the door, at least a quick and dirty version of it, right? And then you can perfect it based on
Yeah.
the data.
Yeah, and I really like to use it just for inspiration,
Yeah.
because it's a creative process, right? And when an artist goes out to paint a new photo, a new picture, they don't sit in their room and just wait until the picture comes out of their paint, right? They go
Yeah.
out, they'll go travel somewhere, they'll get inspiration, and then they come back, then they've got it. So that's how I see AI, as an inspiration, part of the inspiration process.
Yeah. Now, if somebody wants to take it to the next level, like getting started using the AI wizard, is really, really powerful. What are some of the things? I mean, obviously, you already mentioned like you need to have an idea of who your ideal customer is, right? And, for those of you that have been listening to this podcast really since day one, almost every single guest has said you've got to know your ideal customer. No matter what strategy that we're talking about. So it's great to hear you reinforce that. But beyond understanding your ideal customer, what are maybe some of the types of questions that people might put into a quiz? Kind of going back to that data gathering process that we talked about earlier.
Yeah, well, I'll give you what's easy and hard, right? To answer. So what people aren't really good at is describing what they want. So people really aren't always present. Not everyone looks at a vision board every single day and is totally 100% focused on what they want in their life at any one moment in time, right?
Right.
So, but what people are really good at answering is what they don't want.
Hmm.
So, for example, if you're a coach or consultant or whatever, and um, you help people, quit their jobs and start their first business or whatever, or you help them get better at sales.
Hmm.
Questions you might want to ask is, what do you hate most about doing sales? And then using that to reverse engineer. Okay, well, this sounds like you have a resistance or you have a weakness in this area. Let me give you 3 tips to help you with that.
Hmm.
Right. So that really helps a lot. Also, asking a question that is totally like, if someone's answering 10 questions for you and that's helping them to get a personalized report and they're really happy with that, it'd be really smart to about 80% of the way down to throw in a question there saying, okay, well, if someone were to help you with this, how much would you be willing to pay for it?
Mm.
Just like point blank the
Yeah.
price question, right? And then some people will say, and you might just get the exact answer you expect. Oh, $1,000 is the most I'd pay. But then
Yeah.
at least you know for certain, right?
Yeah.
And then you know that someone's got that they've already mentally allocated that $1,000, you know, chunk on their credit card,
Mhm.
to something like this. So that's really powerful as well.
Yeah, I like that strategy there of using, the quiz funnel to kind of, you know, subtly put in, some market research because if you're thinking about creating
That's
a
all it
course
is.
or a product, and you're like, oh, I don't know, where I should price this, you can let the market tell you what they think it's worth, and then you can, decide if it's worth, investing the time and energy to build it.
Yeah, the whole thing is market research.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Now, one of the questions that just kind of came to mind, and I've seen it done both ways. So obviously, when you're getting the quiz, you want to get as much information from people as possible. And I've seen different types of quizzes. I've seen some quizzes where they give you the report, without any type of email address. And then they ask you for the email address, for, like if you want additional information, type in your email, we'll send, more stuff to you. Then I've seen other quiz funnels where they actually gate the report. So you have to put in your email address in order to receive the final outcome. I'm interested to hear what's your take on and what are you seeing that's kind of like gets the best results for businesses.
Yeah, this is about qualification. And we've got some clients that want to qualify more and more and more because they've got a really high ticket product. They don't want to waste any time. And people could answer yes or no before they even jump, before they even spend some proper time and have a one-to-one call with them. And
Hmm.
they've got some other clients that they might be a bit more of an influencer. They might be building a database because they've got a low ticket product, right? And they need volume.
Hmm.
So if you want more volume, then you want to add that email gateway or that phone number gateway, the contact details,
Hmm.
as far as possible to the end
Gotcha.
because they've gone through like a low resistance process to go this far, and then now they're already here.
Hmm.
Adding in their contact details will just be a natural part of the. It'll almost be like question 10.
Right.
Instead of it being a gateway, it's question 10, right? Because
Uh-huh.
they've gone through 9 questions already.
Yeah.
So if you want more volume, then you do that. But if you want ultra qualified people, and a lot of people do, a lot of people prefer ultra qualified people because more people are selling high ticket things nowadays than 20,000 low ticket things.
Yeah.
Then you put it right at the front. You say, hey, look, this contact information. You're going to be submitting your information to me, but you're going to get this piece of value. So it'll reduce my conversion rate by about half or whatever it is.
Hmm.
But but that's what I want. Like I want to weed out the people that are just looking, instead of
Yeah.
people that have a bit more urgency. But what we do as well is because we've done this a lot. I think we generated like 2.5 million leads this year for all of our clients
Hmm.
over the course of 12 months. So what we do is we allow people to add their email ask or information request right at the end. or at the beginning, and then we also allow them to update it because usually what happens is people will put in a fake email, which
Hmm.
happens a lot, and then we say, hey, look, if you did get value from this report, and they get to read like 50% of the report on their web browser without putting anything in. If you want to save a copy of this, then please update your email, or please just double check your emails right. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? So we cover both bases for
gotcha.
like the fake email plus also recapturing the real email. Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's a great idea there. So so with the quiz, I love that you mentioned that, people are using quiz funnels to actually sell high ticket items. So a lot of people, I think, have a misconception that quizzes are only used for, just basic lead generation for low ticket things. But you can actually use a quiz funnel. Seems kind of counterintuitive, but to actually sell a several $1,000 program.
Yeah. We were in my $2 million business, we were all high ticket. We were only high ticket.
Okay.
Yeah, the prices was we had three products, 1,000, 5,000, 10,000 US dollars, and but we sold 80, 90% was the 5,000, was the middle one.
Hmm. Wow. That's those are some fantastic numbers. And so I think, really just from what you shared with us today here, really should cause all of us to give a more serious look to, using quiz funnels in our business. Because a lot of the old traditional ways of lead generation, the free reports, the video series, those types of things, they can still be effective, but again, that interactivity. I love the fact that if you get people, starting to take action, they're more inclined to, to continue that path. So I know that you've got a free gift for our listeners. You want to tell us a little bit about that, what they can get?
Yeah, so there's a book called Scorecard Marketing. It's on Amazon. It's a bestseller. It's written by a best-selling author, my business partner. He's got like 4 or 5 best-selling books, and it gives you two things. The first thing is it tells you what this is, scorecard marketing, quiz funnels, why it works, and the next part is how to implement it, really, really well.
Hmm.
And we can give out a free PDF copy to everyone. Depending on where you live, we can even get you a free physical copy as well, whilst we still have some extra stock. And all you need to do is go to ScoreApp, ScoreApp.com/book. If not, if you prefer like an audio copy, which I do, then it's just come out on Audible as well.
Okay. Awesome. And what are some of the things that people will learn out of the book? What are some of the hot topics that are in there?
Yeah, so you'll learn how to, so if you think about the customer pyramid, right? The customer pyramid is who's ready to buy now. Only about 3% of any market's ready to buy now. So they've got their credit card in hand, they're out shopping, and they're just looking for the best option, the best price, the best deal.
Hmm.
Then one layer down is the people that aren't ready to buy now. They're ready to buy, just not now. So they've got the need, they've got the interest, they're out there looking, but not as aggressively. So that market's about 7% of the audience. So it's more than twice as big as the people ready to buy now. Uh, this book will show you how to generate demand out of that second bracket of people and
Okay.
basically surface their needs, bring their needs up to the front so that when they're ready to buy, they buy from you. Because when everyone goes for the people that are ready to buy now, the hardest thing about converting those people is that they've typically already decided who they're going to buy from.
Hmm.
So they're like the people who are buying, like you're out buying a new house and they've already got a pre-approved mortgage with their preferred bank. And
Yeah.
then some other bank tries to come along and says, "Hey, why don't you switch to us?" I said, "No, my life's why would I complicate my life and go through the whole process all over again?"
Yeah.
So it's actually the people that haven't got that pre-approval yet, but they're sort of half shopping. That's
Hmm.
where the opportunity is, and that's who we teach you to to really prioritize.
Awesome. Yeah, and tapping into that 7% of the market there, is really, really powerful, because obviously anybody can get the low-hanging fruit, that 3%, right? But it's that
Yeah.
7% that you really want to stay in front of and that you're really capturing their hearts and their attention right out of the gate so that, like you said, that you're the go-to for that. So Awesome. Well, Maxwell, it has been great to have you on the podcast today. Any final thoughts before we wrap up?
No, the only thing I would say is, um, the team that's behind this. Well, first of all, you could try it for free, so it's a no-brainer. Like
Mhm.
it's literally no-brainer. See if it can work for you. But the other thing that we have i- in our team, we have an internal mantra that we want to force our clients to be successful.
Mhm.
So we thought, okay, what do we need to do that? We are a technology company, but we have like live webinars and workshops where you might talk to me, you might talk to our chief of marketing, you might talk to our head of customer success to answer any questions to help make sure that you're winning. So, we're really committed to our clients, I would say.
Oh, fantastic. So those would be some great resources for sure once people get in on that free trial, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good deal. Well, Maxwell, thank you for your time today. That's all for today's episode of From the Trenches. So before we wrap up, remember to request your copy of the book Scorecard Marketing. That's scoreapp.com/book. We'll put the link in the show notes just in case you're not in a place where you can write that down right now. And if you're looking to supercharge your email marketing, check out my book, Hit the Inbox, at hittheinboxbook.com. It's packed with 76 pages of strategies to get your emails landing in inboxes and driving sales. Thanks for tuning in today. If you found value in this episode, please subscribe, rate, and review the podcast on your favorite platform. It helps us reach more entrepreneurs like you. And until next time, keep crushing it in the trenches.